I want to ask you if you've taken responsibility for your life. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, I took ownership and I'm just going through day to day, like things just keep happening, whatever, I just go with the flow. I'm talking about, have you taken genuine ownership of the things that happen in your life? Meaning, there are going to be circumstances, situations, people, things that happen that are out of your control, but what you can control is your reaction to them. We all know that. It's a cliche saying. We all know this. But are you actually practically applying this ownership, this responsibility to your day-to-day life? Okay, so taking ownership of your life will allow you to steer the ship in the direction that you want it to go. So for a very long time in my life, I was very much like victim mentality. I've done another video on this. Very much victim mentality, victimhood, living in Victimville, like was the mayor of it for a minute. And it just felt like everything just kept happening and I had no control and everything was spiraling and life was going on and going on and going on, and I just couldn't quite get a hold of anything. The second that I said to myself, okay, so what are you going to do about it? And this only came to me after therapy, by the way, because up until then I've been like, oh, things keep happening and I don't know what to do. So up until like my 20s, I was just going through the motions of the oceans, allowing things to happen that I didn't like, that I didn't want to happen, but it almost felt like it just had to be that way and there was nothing I could do about it, and whatever happens, as opposed to being like, actually no, I don't want whatever happens to be happening. I would like to take control of this. I want to be the captain of my own ship, and you are, by the way. So it was only then when I started to accept that I am in control of my life. I control my actions. Things will always happen it's God's will. Like there are always going to be things, people, circumstances, events that are going to take place that are not favorable for you, and that is just life. You can't avoid it. So why are you going to just be living life going through, the motions and going along with whatever's happening and thinking always negatively, when actually if you take some sort of responsibility for how things happen, if you take responsibility for your own actions, your own thoughts and behaviors that come from the circumstances, people and events that have happened that are not in your favor, then you get a better chance. You have better odds of finding yourself in a position that is desirable, that is favorable to you, than you do if you say, I have no control over this whatsoever. I'm just gonna have to go along with whatever happens. Things keep happening to me. Woe is me. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Like, I lived there for so long and it is draining. So let's just dive into all of these little points that I've got written out. And I just hope I pray this helps someone. I pray that this reaches someone and it touches you and it allows you to open your mind, open your heart, not just to change, but the possibility that you deserve to have better. And with that deserving of better things, better circumstances, living conditions, with that knowing that you deserve better, I pray that this opens opportunities for you in your life. And that you're okay with accepting more. So let's just dive into it. It's easy to point fingers, but healing starts with you. That is my first point. It is so easy to just say, you did it. That person did it. She did it. He did it. The reason this friendship fell apart is because of that person. The reason things didn't go well is because of this thing. The reason I didn't get that job is because of that person. The reason this marriage fell apart is because of that person. It's so easy to point your finger at someone else and declare them as the villain in your story. It is easy to do that. It is just, you don't even have to think about doing it. It's just, for some people, for most people, I would even say, it is almost second hand. Like you just, what's the word I'm looking for? There is a word. It'll come to me in a second. But anyway, it is just second nature. That's the phrase. It's so easy to say to someone, the way that I am is because of my upbringing. The way that I am is because of this person. And yes, there are always factors into into why you are the way that you are. Your upbringing 100% shaped who you are, but that doesn't mean that that's where your story ended, because at some point you became an adult, and at some point you became, whether you're watching this and you're 18 years old, I want you to know this now, just because things have happened in your household, just because things have happened at school, just because things have happened in your job or wherever you are, just because you've had negative past experiences, does not then allow you the right to blame someone else for how you have dealt with the cards that you've been handed. It's all down to you. And it sucks. Like, I won't lie to you guys, it is hard. If you've experienced some sort of trauma, some sort of negative past experience, and you're like, I feel like the way that I am is because, you know, when I was 10 years old, this happened to me, or because when I was 15, that happened to me. And it's so easy to sit here and say that the way that I am at 30, the way that I am at 50, the way that I am at 45 is because of the things that happened to me when I was 10. Babe, there is a big gap between then and now. You have to take responsibility for every single daily choice that you have made that has led you to the person that you are right now watching this video. So if you're going through something right now, just know that you get to decide, right? You get to decide how you want to deal with this situation, deal with this person, deal with this event going forward from today onwards. It's never too late. If you went through trauma when you were 6 and you're experiencing it, you know, going through a life right now and you're unhappy and whatever else, and you're, you know, 40, you get to right now say enough is enough. I am going to heal myself. I am going to solve my own problems, right? No one's coming to fix it for you. I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to speak to that counselor. I am going to open up to God. I am going to start journaling. I'm going to start praying. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to start eating right. I'm going to start doing all of these things that have, since I was XYZ age, have been hindering me. I am now going to take responsibility of the change that I want to see in my life. Do you guys understand how powerful that is? The second that you, sorry, my throat is really closing up. The second that you take responsibility of your life, it is so much more fun. Life becomes so much more enjoyable. The second I dropped this idea that I was out of control and there was nothing that I could do about my life or the way that things had gone out or were going or had gone in the past, the second that I said to myself, you now are the driver, like you're in the driving seat. Where do you want to go? It was like, shit, game on, let's go. Someone gave me the controller, now I get to play, let's go. Like, where do I want to go? Do I want to move home? Do I want to move country? Do I want to start a new job? Do I want to do this? Like, the second that you take responsibility, things just start to freaking look like good, better, fun. So stop pointing that finger at everyone else and just bring that round to you, okay? Healing starts with you. You can only heal when you take responsibility of your actions going forward, right? We're not going to dwell on the past. We're not going to, oh, when I was 6, oh, when I was 12, oh, when I was 20, oh, when I was 30. We're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to accept now that, look, things have happened. They were hard. They were horrible even. That I would never wish that on my enemy. With that being said, where I am right now, I can take that and I can help people grow. I can take that and I can change the trajectory of my family's lives. With that, I can become a teacher and show kids what a safe environment looks like at school. With that, I can become a counsellor and help people through their own trauma. With that, I can become a doctor and ensure no one ever gets to experience the things that I've had to experience in hospitals. Like, you get to take back some power that you lost in the past. It's a beautiful experience, and I wish that for you all. I pray that for you all, honestly. The second thing is to own your mistakes and grow from them. Like, look, shit happens. Okay? Shit happens. Things happen. Sometimes you might do something that you're like, I don't know where I'm going to go from this. I don't know. I let my family down. I let my friends down. I let my co-workers down. I don't know where I'm going to go from this. You're going to grow from it. That's what you're going to do. If you don't know where to go, you're going to grow. Okay. The second you allow your heart to be open to new ways of viewing past experiences, right? If you look at your mistake and say, I'll put it in quotes. If you look at your mistake and say, okay, this wasn't ideal. This wasn't what I wanted. Could it have gone a better route? 100%. But am I where I am? Yes. Where would I like to go? I would like to take this opportunity. Like, what is the lesson? What can I get from right now? You guys don't even understand how fun that is. Like, the second you start to take ownership of things. When I was younger, I did some stuff that I wouldn't want my nieces to do. Let's just put it like that. And it came from a place of not loving or respecting myself. And I beat myself up for years. Like, you guys, years and years and years I beat myself up for this. And I just, this one thing, years, for this one thing, years. The many mistakes that I've made in this life, this one thing, I clung to it. I just clutched onto it. And I just remember being like, how on earth? Like, what do I do from this? I don't know where to go from here. And I was like, okay, so how can you grow from this? 1, never do it again. 2, educate younger girls and boys and other kids about loving yourself, about respecting yourself, about appreciating who you are and your value and the way that God views you. Like, I took that thing that I've been beating myself up over and living in a victim state for years with, and I was like, okay, let's just make it something magical. First of all, own it. It happened. Oh well, can't change it. Nothing I can do. No amount of crying, beating myself up, hating on myself, disrespecting myself verbally. There's no amount of that I can do that will erase the fact that it has happened. I'm telling you, I'll say this to you right now. There was no amount of causing yourself grief and strive and struggle and pain that you can go through that will erase your past. It won't go away. It's never going to go away. And beating yourself up over it is not going to do you any good. So then, with that in mind, right, you then say to yourself, okay, so now I've acknowledged that it's not going anywhere. What can I do with this? What can I do with this now, this new earth that I've been given? I want to plant something magical in it so that when it grows, it positively impacts those around me. And for me, that was my nieces, my nephews, even my older family members. Like, how can I positively touch people with what I have deemed for years as a mistake? You grow from it. You honor your experiences in this life by growing from them. And right, the same way, like when your parents have gone through struggling and years of struggling to pay for uni and pay for this and when you become an adult, the best way to honor them is to grow from what they've given you, become a 10x version of yourself, and then give back. And that is it. The end. The third point is you can't change others, but you can change yourself. I made a video about this. I don't know if I'm going to post it because I wasn't very pleased with it, but I made a video about how people pour into others to avoid being with themselves. And I think what we need to do is what I know we need to do is to acknowledge that you cannot change other people. You cannot make other people happy. You can't solve their problems for them. You cannot seep into someone's brain and fix things and then come back out to your reality. Like, you can't do that. So stop trying. You can't change anyone else's reality, but you can always change your own. And the second I've just accepted that, oh, you guys, I will always try to help people around me. I'll always try to support, to encourage, to uplift those I love and care for, so that they can have a better experience in this world for themselves, right? I'll always try to do that. But what I've acknowledged through the struggle of trying to make other people happy is that it makes me miserable. It makes me snappy. It makes me incredibly agitated and frustrated with people. You could even say angry. It makes me physically ill. Like, it makes me unwell, headaches, stomach pain, my periods get more intense. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to puppet people. You're trying to play God, right? When you try to change other people, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to play God. You can't. It is impossible. Doesn't matter what the intention is, it is impossible. But you can always change yourself. You can always grow as an individual. You can always be a better version of yourself. So just focus on you. And the fourth and final thing is, God forgives. Okay, y'all? God is a forgiving God. The question then becomes, are you ready to forgive yourself? Because He's already forgiven you. You did something that hurt someone. He's already forgiven you. The question is, have you forgiven yourself? Not my belly just rumbling. The question is, have you forgiven yourself? Have you given yourself the grace that you would like others to give you? Right? Because when let's just throw this example in there. You and your best friend did something and one of you got emotionally hurt. Right? And you're sitting here saying, I just want that person to forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. There are two things I want to say to this. One, what happens if they never forgive you? Does that mean that you can't forgive yourself? Right? It's the same as if you break up with someone. Can you give yourself closure without having to get it from them? And the second thing is, when you're begging for this forgiveness, and someone then says, okay, I forgive you, have you forgiven yourself? Have you internally said to yourself, I'm going to put this to rest now? Right? God has forgiven you. He forgives you every single day. He has forgiven you. The only thing you can do is to ask for forgiveness and then stop doing the thing that you need to be forgiven for. Okay? Stop the bad thing that you're doing, that you're saying, please forgive me, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, then you do it. Please forgive me, I'm sorry, I won't do it, then you do it. Stop doing that thing. If it was 10 years ago, babe, it's done. It's dusted. If you are a different person, let it go. If you're the same being, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you are a different person, let it go. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Take a moment, sit down, write it out, pray it out, meditate, go for a walk, get some exercise in. Forgive yourself for things that you cannot control. It is done. It is done. I'm going to leave that there. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Besitos.